everyone calls me Bonnie, but you can probably see up there it says Yvonne Marie Capell. That's the name my parents were forced to give me because when I was born there was no St. Bonnies. Well, I want to talk to you today about fears. Fears can protect you, but it can also limit who you are and how you live and the choices that you make. As a little kid on a farm, I was fearless. One of the things I loved doing was hooning around on motorbikes. Pre-internet days, so we weren't preoccupied with screens and fangirling. But when I was about 20, I had a spectacular bike crash. I was not wearing protective clothing or a helmet because we thought that was for wimps. I was riding on loose gravel and a flock of birds were on the road eating seed, and at the last minute the birds all flew up to me, and to try to avoid getting a pigeon in the eye, I swerved and braked at the same time. So I lost control of the bike. The bike went over and it seemed to be happening in slow motion. When I came to, I looked like a piece of raw meat. Skin was missing from my shoulder, from my arms, from my hip, from my butt, from my hair. There was blood on my hands. And I was a couple of kilometres from home, so I had to get the bike up and then somehow ride home. I couldn't get the bike out of first gear. So I rode home bleeding and bawling. I was in shock and I was concussed. So after I healed, I was far less looking forward. I was far less keen, I guess, on reliving my motorbike days, and I kept thinking about the accident and I relived the pain of it constantly, and in my mind it grew bigger and bigger. But no worries, city years of my career beckoned and I didn't have to worry about a motorbike. But fast forward to my 30s and I had a husband and he rides a motorbike. I catastrophise his accidents, injuries, widowhood. He goes off on toy runs at Christmas with his bike decorated in tinsel and one of our children on the back, and I hate it. I drive behind the toy run just in case an accident happens and I need to pick up the child. He rides out to meet his friends and have fun, and as the sun goes down, I imagine the collision with a kangaroo. I imagine the police knocking on my door. I imagine the funeral. As the kids get older and fly the nest and all of those super busy times coordinating the family are gone, we're sort of there together, just him and me, trying to remember what life and fun was before children, trying to find us again. So one day, 3 years ago, Tony said to me, he convinced me, he said, "Let's come get on my bike, let's try it. It's got a nice big black Triumph." He said, "Let's go for a ride, it'll be fun. Let's do something I like for a change." So I convinced myself it'll be good and we're going to go and have this great ride. And I get on the back of the motorbike and we barely make it up to Moonee before I'm crying and having a full-blown panic attack. I'm hyperventilating, I think I'm going to fall off the bike. I'm full of so much fear and I'm pathetic. So he gets me home, a sodden, anxious, sobbing mess, and I slink away ashamed of my fears. The next week I was at a business lunch with some entrepreneurial do-gooder that was raving on about all the usual corporate platitudes, you know, talking about planning and success. And one of the things he said, though, that I heard was he said, "I never felt really successful until I faced my fears." And I tuned into that. The following week I found myself doing a 2-day course in my L plates at the RTA. I was terrified at first, but it's quite a safe space, and over the course of the 2 days I passed, and then on the Monday I went into the RTA and did the online exam and got my L plates. So he bought me a Honda 250, it's blue, and I was sort of ready. Now if you have a look at the picture over here, you can see that it says October 2018 it was valid until, so this actually happened in October 2017. So when I started riding I was quite terrified and I was petrified at roundabouts. It was just painful. I was afraid of the other traffic, I was intimidated by the trucks. Oh, it wasn't a lot of fun for me. My husband likes to ride hard with an open-faced helmet and a tough boy look in his face, and I was not his most ideal riding companion. He was patient, occasionally frustrated, but generally okay, because he knew how scared I was. Slowly I started to improve. I coped with roundabouts, I stopped stalling, I could sort of almost keep up with the traffic. I even rode into town by myself. Then I rode to Sawtell and I rode to Nanabaka, and I started to feel a bit cool even though my bike was only a 250 and it was blue. So I was getting better, and then one day my husband said, shouldn't you be getting your L's, your P's? Your L's must be expiring soon, aren't they? It's been a year. And I go, oh no, my licence says it's valid until 2021. He said, oh, I thought L's only went for a year. I said, oh no, they must have changed it. I guess if you already got a full licence, no, it says it's valid until 2021. Okay, no, don't worry about it. Kept on riding, kept on improving. One day he said to me, you know, if you get your P's, I'm going to let you ride the red bike, the BMW 650 FX. I was like, actually, yeah, it is time to go and get my P's. I'm feeling confident. So I booked in to do my P's, and you have to have your current L's to do your P's. And no, they don't give you more than 12 months on your L's, even if you've got a full licence. So it turns out that I was unlicensed. That for 12 months, I did not have a licence. Imagine if something had happened. Imagine if a policeman had pulled me up, or if I'd crashed into somebody, unlicensed, no insurance. Respectable local businesswoman, name in Monday's Advocate. Shame, shame, shame. So when all this came to light, I thought, look, you know, sorry, I said to the lady on the phone, no, sorry, I didn't see that thing on my licence, sorry, I didn't notice that. Because I told you all yesterday I'm dreadful at the paperwork and the details. I said, but look, I have been writing and I've got a pretty good mess, I've got to just do the P's. Big fat no. I had to spend last weekend, a long weekend, doing a 2-day course to get my L's again. And I had to pay for that. Then I had to go in and pay to do the online test, and then I had to pay to get my L's. And so now I'm back on my L's, and mostly I've overcome my fears, and that makes me feel, you know, pretty fantastic. But I didn't share this story with you all just to show you how bad I am at my paperwork. There's a moral to this story. With fears, when facing fears, check the details. What is the root of your fear? I was not a good bike rider. I hurt myself because I rode badly and I had no protective gear on. You might have fear of failure yourself. It could be about starting a business. But if you do the research, if you ask yourself the right questions, if you check your list, will it be that scary? You might have fear maybe of a personal relationship. Let's imagine you got rejected, 20 years ago after a one-night stand with someone that you had the hots for, and now you're back on the dating game. If you're honest with yourself, check the details and ask the questions, is it that scary? Try to find the root of your fears and break it down, analyse it. Find a mentor or a guide. As a bike rider, I've been really lucky to have my husband, who's a natural teacher and guides me. Sometimes he pisses me off and I feel like I'm being lectured after we get home about what I should or shouldn't have done, but I know he's right. And if I take his advice on board, I'll be a better rider. If you're starting out in business, look for someone who can offer you guidance and advice or mentorship. Probably not a family member when it's in business, because the emotional connection can sometimes get in the way of good decisions. Take little steps. Practice riding around the block. Test your idea on a sample. If you've developed an app, put it out for free before you try to put a price on it to see what the uptake of it is. If you do face painting, hold a basic at cost party so you can assess how the other mothers like how good your face painting is. Review your progress. Did you feel safe? If not, why not? Did they like it? If not, why not? Did it taste good? What would you change to improve it? Do the change and take the small steps again and check the details. Are your calculations correct? Have you covered your costs? Will you make money out of it? Are you compliant? Is it legal? Do a risk assessment. Helmet, gloves, jacket. Date of licence expiring. My lack of compliance could have been catastrophic. Having a checklist, be it for personal or professional endeavours, can help you face your fears. You've analysed the problem, you've done some research, you've taken small steps, you've learnt, you're prepared. You still feel a little bit of fear, but it doesn't stop you from stepping out and enjoying the journey of your life. And there's nothing like feeling like being in charge, whether it's in your life or in your business. You can own the road.